Ready, set. You didn't get the.
Oh, no,
you didn't get the
bring
thing.
it. I didn't bring it. I totally forgot.
Well, now we only have to do one take though because you figured out how to turn the notifications off.
Well, I'm hoping.
In theory.
We'll be like 10 minutes into this, and this whole thing's gonna stop.
In theory, they'll be like, start over, take 2.
Okay, so hello, good morning. It's
Monday
us
morning.
again. Yes,
Yeah. Holiday week.
Short week, fun week. Actually, that's going to lead us into our topic because everybody's off Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Jeez, we shut
Sunday.
down early on Wednesday too. I think.
We never shut down. Real estate agents.
Well,
never shut down.
my branch will be. I am playing golf on Wednesday.
Are you? Good for you.
In the
That's
morning.
awesome. You
But
got
I'll
to teach
be-
me how to golf someday.
I'm not any good. You don't. You. I just go. I'm not good at it.
Good. I don't want to play with somebody good at it because
I
then they're going to
can't-
get mad
I
at
can't
me.
teach anybody how to play. I just know how to get. I know how to shoot 90. That's about it.
Oh, but
I've done it forever.
I can way beat that because you're like 100, 110.
Yeah. So you would win. Yeah, you would win. You'd have the highest score.
Zach Valerio, Fairway Mortgage,
Vince Davis with, is it Conway Realty?
Conway Real Estate.
Conway Real Estate.
Yes.
Okay. One day I'll get that right.
Well, and if you Google it, it's better
Yeah.
to have it right because then you
Conway Real Estate.
Yes, because we're the way of the con.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so today, the
I think it's a
topic
good.
is-
I think it's a good subject.
So what we were thinking about talking about was the pros and cons of full-time versus part-time real estate agents and loan officers. There are part-timers in both of our industries. We're commission only. A lot of people, in fact, there are people out there who have both licenses, right? They're lenders and real estate agents. I sold a house to a guy who had both.
And I don't know exactly how it works. I think if you work for a broker, you can do conventional loans. I think you can only do. You can't do the full spectrum.
So you can't be full service. is what-
Right. I think you can only do. I think you just do conventional. I don't think you do FHA or bond loans. I think is what it is.
Well, FHA, that's huge because a lot of people need those, especially
Yeah.
first-time home buyers.
And when I started in this industry, I bartended at night. I bartended 3 nights a week, which was like 30 hours.
You need to come on average to drinks and
I think
mix
is what it
drinks with
was. I worked at Juan Jaimez, which is my favorite place in Chandler. I'm there
Oh,
all
you
the
worked
time.
there?
Yeah, I worked there, and I worked Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday nights. So I'd get there at 4 and I'd leave at 2 in the morning,
and then go to work in the morning.
and then I worked for Academy Mortgage. At the time, I'd go to Academy,
That's where I met you.
and I'd fall asleep at my desk like almost every day because I was so tired. So I had the 2 kids, I had the 2 jobs.
Oh,
I didn't understand anything about anything. There was a lot of mess ups back then. Not so much anymore. But I remember I had a really cool conversation with Scott Smith was my mentor when I first got into this industry,
Hi, Scott.
and he's
We still love you.
he's
By the way.
unbelievable. No one
He is.
knows more about guidelines than probably that guy.
Scott's good.
So he works at Barrett Financial now, but we worked at the Academy together. We shared an office. He let me take a little spot in the corner. And one day I was just dog tired, and I had on just gross jeans and Chuck Taylors and like a golf shirt that probably didn't fit. It was just bad. And he said, if you could stop bartending and put all that time and energy into lending and learn the guidelines, faster and better, and met more people, then you wouldn't have to bartend and you could just be a loan officer instead. And it was a hard concept for me because I was like, well, I got to pay my bills, and I have 0 loans to do. So
and it's scary going commission only.
Yeah.
It's
And I was commission only before. I mean, when I worked for Shamrock Foods and I worked for Cisco Foods. And that was commission only too, but it was a different type of deal because
well, you had
got
accounts that you knew that were going to buy.
yeah, and you could
stuff
kind of
from you.
project what you were going to make, and it was really consistent. It was real solid. Lending, it's if you have something that's supposed to close on the 15th and it rolls over one day to the 16th, you don't see that on your paycheck for another 3-4 weeks down. I mean, so it's really hard to project and plan.
Well, and that actually leads us. That's another topic. So not another topic, but when you do this, a lot of people think real estate agents, we open doors and we then we make all this money and you guys process paperwork and then everything's done. We actually put a lot of time and effort into this job. We have inspections, we have negotiations, we have things that pop up on people's credit. We have all this stuff that happens during the workday that you have to do during the workday. Title companies aren't open evenings and weekends. No. And when you start dealing with somebody who's part-time, not only are they trying to push all of the work that's supposed to be done during the day into the evenings, that's when our clients are off work. That's when our clients want us to be available to them. That's when I show property, is when people
Most of my phone calls are at night.
Yeah. And part of our job is to come up with new business.
Yeah.
So, going back to the point Scott made to you, which was a good point, is if you could focus and take up all your time, then you can do a better job. When you're dealing with somebody who's part-time, they're trying to work open transactions. They're trying to come up with new transactions, and they're trying to do the initial stuff that most people think of when they think of people like us, opening doors, taking loan applications. There's a lot that goes into this.
I'm a big control freak too. You can ask anybody that works with me. So I touch every one of my files every day. So there's never a time where I don't know what's happening, and that's time consuming as well. But yeah, it's one of those things where if I were to sell or buy a house, I think the first question I would ask anybody, any realtor that I had interviewed or talked to would say, I wouldn't even say part-time or full-time. I'd be like, are you all in on this job, or is it like a hobby?
Yeah. What else do you do?
Yeah, what else do you do? Because I want someone who doesn't just have my best interest, because it's very easy to tell someone I have your best interest and I want to do a good job for you.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah, I want someone who is available anytime I call. I want someone who's available when it's convenient for me as a buyer or seller. What else? Maybe
families. What about that? You know, when you're not at work, sometimes real estate agents, loan officers, they have families, they have kids, they have spouses, they have maybe they're swingers. I don't know, but there's
something.
There's going to be some personal time. So when you're choosing a real estate professional, whether it's a loan officer or a realtor, take all that into account. Do they really have the time to commit to you if they have a 40-hour-a-week job on top of what they're promising you?
No, that's a good point. I mean, and there's plenty of times where I'm at home and I sit in my car in the garage is where I make almost all my phone calls, because if I'm in the house, my son only wants to talk to me when I'm on the phone. He doesn't want to talk to me when I'm not on the phone. He only wants to talk to me when I'm on the phone. So his
son's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's radio silent for 2 hours, and then my phone will ring and be like, "Hey, do you want to hear about this Godzilla thing?" And it's like, I can't now
because you attract his attention because the phone rings.
The phone's I gotta go. Daddy's gotta work. Or we can't turn the lights on, kind of thing. But yeah, I just think we talk about how competitive everything is now. It is super competitive, and I love what realtors do. I would never want to do it personally.
Okay, because I don't want to do your job either. That makes us a good
because deal. it's just a different kind of deal. But I would rather work with someone who's in this 110% full time all the time than just someone who says, I think I can sell a house once or twice a year and supplement my income.
So that's pretty much it. That's our message for today. When you're considering buying or selling a house, make one of the questions that you ask when you're interviewing people. Is this your full-time job? Or is this, a part-time deal for extra cash? And I think that you'll find, and talk to your friends, talk to your family, find out who has used a part-timer versus a full-timer, and see what their experiences were. Because I believe that we do a better job. We're both full-time. This is what we do. Yeah, we have families. Yeah, we have commitments outside of stuff, and you got to mop the floors, and you got to take the car in for an oil change.
I don't even do that.
Well,
I think my car's like 12,000 miles on an oil change. So I don't even do that.
But the point is, if somebody's got an extra 40 hours a week to commit to your transaction, is that good or bad in your mind?
Plus, call him on a Saturday and see if they answer.
There you go. He always answers. Sometimes it takes him a little bit of time. And one thing I respect about him is that if he's out partying or something like that, he doesn't do business when he's...
I do not. I used to pick up the phone all the time.
But you'll take my calls, and you'll just...
I do take your calls, but I remember, I can't remember when it was, but I was watching football, and I picked up a phone call at like 4 o'clock. The next day, the realtor was like, that didn't even sound like you. like, what were you doing? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what I was doing, but I just won't do it again. And I'll just tell you, like,
I lost a client that
hey,
way
I'll call
once,
you
too.
in a couple hours or something like that. But yeah, see how into it people really are. Like I said, give them a call on a Saturday, like at 4 o'clock, and say, hey, I got a question about lending or something. I got a buddy who's under contract right now, and we talked throughout the whole ASU football game, because that was the one time he had this week where, you know, his kids were at grandma's house, him and his wife were watching the football game, and we just text the whole football game. And now we're under contract today, but I mean, that was his time, was Saturday night at 7 o'clock. That was the one time he could talk about things. So that's when we did it.
All right, so that's our message for today. Thank you for watching us. We hope that you enjoy these.
Yeah.
You enjoy making them.
Have a great holiday.
Have a great holiday. Zach Valerio, Fairway Mortgage.
Vince Davis with Conway Real Estate.
Yes.
Got it.
And thanks for watching. Bye.
It's a wrap.